Warning, this video might contain topics that are disturbing to some viewers. Viewers' discretion is advised. The sun, nearly close to exploding, causing solar activities to increase dramatically. People killed on broad daylight due to the heat wave which causes most of them to stay indoors. Crawling from beneath the grounds are creatures that resembles humans, who are called the visitors in the game, knowing for ripping out flesh of humans. There's something deeply unsettling about this game, not because of its monsters, but because of what it says about us, humans. No, I'm Not a Human doesn't rely on jump scares or loud noises. Its horror comes from the question it keeps whispering. What does it really mean to be human? And what happens when we stop being one? Because sometimes, the scariest thing isn't losing your humanity. It's realizing you might never have it to begin with. No, I'm Not a Human is a recent game that was developed by the Triascars, a Russian indie studio known for creating psychological and story-driven games. They focus on human emotion, identity, and fear through surreal worlds. Rather than simple jump scares, their goal isn't to just scare, it's to make players think. However, in this video we're going to be talking about and focusing on the protagonist of the game, who is unknown to the player. He has no name but some information about his past life. Whatever the player chooses later on tells a different story and different ending. But whether it's different or not, the player's aura speaks louder than the choice of the player. You know what's scarier than monsters outside your door? The silence inside your own home. Our protagonist from No, I'm Not a Human isn't a hero. He's not brave, he's just alone. A man who's been living in solitude for so long, even his own reflection feels like a stranger. No one visits him anymore. Not family, not friends, only visitors. Things that knock like humans, talk like humans, or aren't humans at all. But before that happens, we see his relationship with his neighbor, who comes in the beginning of the game. He warns him about the situation outside, even though he knows about his isolation problems and completely being an antisocial person. But seeing his interaction with him shows us how he would interact with someone he's close to. All these characteristics shows a sign of a depressed or mentally unstable person who is battling every day to live, who's fed up from his own past life. Nevertheless, he's a loner and a very introverted person. To understand the protagonist, you have to step into his mind, not his home. Psychologically, he's what we call a hyper-vigilante survivor. He's trapped in a constant state of alertness, scanning every sound, every knock, every word. It's not just fear, it's conditioning. His brain no longer knows what safety feels like. He shows traits of paranoia, social withdrawal, symptoms often seen after trauma. His isolation isn't just a lifestyle choice. It's a coping mechanism. The world outside betrayed him, so he built a cage inside himself. And this is how his trauma is shown in a way he talks to himself. We can see this when he constantly talks about how he doesn't want to sleep near the window, or how he talks about the boxes inside of his closets. And he doesn't want to look out to the window for some reason. And another aspect is his diet, the cigarettes, the caffeine, the sleeplessness. They're not random habits. They're ways to stay in control. Nicotine numbs the nerves, caffeine sharpens the senses. It's the psychology of a man fighting exhaustion to stay alert because he hasn't felt safety, because rest means vulnerability, or maybe something hurted him because of it. Then there's guilt. Subtle, but ever-present. The photo of a woman and a cat hint at lost. Maybe he failed to protect them. Maybe because of something he fears. That guilt fuels his isolation, a textbook case of self-punishment through solitude. Then there's constant talk about his father. Behind every silent man, there's usually a loud memory. The protagonist's relationship with his father is one of those things that the game never spills out, but it haunts everything he does. The tone photo, the way he isolates himself, the fear of letting people in, it all points to one thing: broken trust. This all made sense to me when I was researching at the end. I saw this ending of him being led by the mushroom man. It's almost as if he's a lost child who finally found guidance. Psychologically, the father represents the first human connection that failed him. In childhood, our fathers are supposed to be our protectors. the safe figure who teaches us the world is okay. But when that figure becomes cruel, absent, or unpredictable, the mind rewires itself. Safety becomes danger. That's what we see in him. Learned distrust. He doesn't just fear the visitors, he fears humanity itself. Because to him, even people can turn into monsters. His father was a proof of that. Maybe his father wasn't abusive in traditional senses. Maybe it was emotional distance, silence, neglect. But those things leave invisible scars. They teach you that being alone is safer than being loved. That's why he shuts the world out. Every knock at the door feels like a test. Is it a safety or betrayal warning a friendly face? He doesn't just live in fear of the visitors. He lives in fear of repeating his father, of becoming the same old distant human he once hated. And maybe that's because he doesn't see himself becoming a father in the future. And that's why he hides, he isolates, why he questions his own humanity. In the end, his father didn't need to become a monster. He just needed to stop being human, long enough to teach his son what the word really meant. We can also see identity erosion, a phenomena where trauma and loneliness can make a person lose senses of who they are. When you live too long in silence, even your own reflection feels like someone else's. And in a world where humans can no longer be trusted, he begins to question if he's still one of himself. The horror of No, I'm Not a Human isn't just monsters outside, it's the slow psychological decay of a man who's becoming a stranger to his own humanity. After learning about the identity and the psychology behind the protagonist's mind, I think we should now talk about the ending perspective, because the endings talk more about his persona than the other things. The vigilante ending isn't just a fight, it's a psychological collapse. It's a point where the protagonist's inner world of control and fear finally implodes. Throughout the game, he's been the one testing others, deciding who's human, who's safe. But when he's the one being tested, everything reverses. That switch is psychologically powerful. It exposes his core personality traits and the fragile mental state beneath him. Paranoid personality traits. He shows classic paranoid personality patterns, constant suspicion, interrupting neutral actions as a threat, and believing survival depends on total control. He doesn't trust anyone, not because they proved dangerous, but because he expects betrayal. That's paranoia, the mind's attempt to protect itself by imagining danger everywhere. When the vigilante confronts him, that paranoia is mirrored back. The vigilante is what psychologists called a projection of his own fears, an external version of a voice inside him that always says, "You're not a human, and you're not human enough. You can't be trusted." Hypervigilance and anxiety disorder traits. He's constantly alert, scanning, testing, waiting, all the signs of hypervigilance, a symptom of chronic anxiety or PTSD. It's like his nervous system never learned to rest. Every knock on the door triggers at some point the same response, fight or flight. But after so long, even the flight becomes impossible, and all that left is fight. So that when the vigilante forces him to prove his humanity, it's the ultimate trigger. The brain shut down for reason and acts on pure fear. Identity crisis and depersonalization. The ending represents his loss of identity. Through the game, he keeps on asking, who is human and who isn't? But deep down, that question isn't about others, it's about himself. In psychological terms, this is depersonalization, a state where someone feels detached from their own body or identity. He's been alone so long, judged so harshly, that he no longer knows if he's human at all. The vigilante's bullet isn't a punishment, it's confirmation of his deepest fears. Control versus helplessness, trauma response. His personality revolves around control, routine, tests, isolation. It's how trauma survival often cope by creating a world they can predict. But when the vigilante arrives, the control is shattered. For the first time, he isn't the judge, he's the one being judged. And that loss of control is unbearable for someone whose whole identity depends on being the one in charge. Psychologically, This is a collapse of trauma defense mechanism. The walls he built to stay safe become his prison, and when they break, so does he. Now, looking through his personality type, we can see that these are the main thing that I've been seeing in his personality type through this one ending. Even though I haven't thoroughly suggested this onto the beginning parts, but I will say this is how his core and aura is described. His mind consumed by control, a person who's lost balance between logic and fear. All this concludes to one thing. So, in psychological terms, the vigilante ending isn't about dying, it's about being exposed. The mind that tests everyone else finally focuses on its own test and fails. Because in the end, his greatest fear wasn't being killed by a monster, it was realizing he's already become one. Alright, this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and in the future I would love to make more videos like this, so don't forget to comment, share and subscribe, and leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. And until then, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.